Hello, everyone, and welcome to Know Your Shit podcast, where our knowledge and pride in what we do drives us to be excellent. My name is Josh Cadillac, and once again, you're stuck with me in the driver's seat for today's show as we learn how to stop chasing paychecks and how to start closing customers for life. And we do that. We learn that by talking to some of the most successful people in all sorts of industries to figure out how they got to the success that they did. And we have a great show for you today, as we always tend to, because we tend to get some pretty great guests. And we definitely have a great guest for you today in the person of Mr. Lloyd Ross. Lloyd, thanks so much for being with us.
What's up, Josh? Thanks for having me on. Super excited to give value to your audience today. So, yeah, let's go. I'm pumped up.
Awesome. So, Lloyd, why don't you tell everybody what it is you do?
Yeah, so I got, I would say I'm an entrepreneur, which is a kind of a funny term that gets thrown around, but I got 4 businesses that I run from the cupboard here at home. Got a network marketing business of over 10 years, got an education business, author of books, coaching, mentoring, an events business, and we're just buying laundromats too with a business partner here. So doing lots of things at the same time, run a portfolio of stocks myself. And so it's a lot of fun. Got lots going on, but primarily love educating people around money, finance, and entrepreneurship.
Getting money working is always great. It's working for money is one thing. Getting the money working alongside of you and helping to pull the cart gets a lot more movement. I'm a big fan myself. So, what got you started doing that?
Well, when I was working in my 9 to 5, I needed an escape plan because I didn't want to work there. Didn't want to commute 3 hours a day. You know what I mean? And I was like, how am I going to get out of here? And so I didn't want to get into debt with real estate. I was in Dubai at the time. I was like, I need to learn this thing about stock. I need to invest in businesses and stocks. So I grabbed a book called The Snowball by Alice Schroeder, and it talks about Warren Buffett's life. And it just, reading that book, it just clicked with me. Okay, I can buy undervalued businesses on the stock market for like a lot less than what they're worth. So it got me into that, and I started investing when I was 24, and now we have a multi-million-dollar portfolio that produces passive income. So
Beautiful.
It's super exciting. Yeah, that's how I got into it. I just stayed doing it, investing. And that's what prompted me to eventually write my books and start teaching people how to do the same thing.
So, what do you like best about it, Lloyd?
Well, I like the fact that I don't have to necessarily do any work to make money. I think I'm inherently lazy. I was like, how do I get more lazy and make money?
I am lazy, but incredibly creative at facilitating my laziness, and that
yeah.
right there.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. What I love about it is the flexibility and freedom that comes with, having your money work for you, but also just being a master of your own destiny. Like, you know what it's like. Like, you're working on what you love to work on, right?
Yeah, no, I get it. It's a thing, man.
Yeah.
So, where do you think all the success came from for you?
I think it came from watching my dad build a successful. Well, he's entrepreneurial, and he was able to make money, and he was one of the most successful guys I saw. But he had periods where he made money, didn't make money. So I just think it was exposure to, hey, what are the opportunities out there to be able to make a lot more money than usual. So I think it was that influence, and then I just flipping hated my job.
Yeah,
I hate traffic. I just hate
oh,
traffic.
traffic is the devil, man.
Yes. I fucking hate it. I'm like, how do I get it? So I said to my wife yesterday, we're walking our dog, and I said, you know what? I think I've crafted a life that's really been focused around one thing. She said, what's that? I said, not commuting.
Yeah, avoiding traffic.
Yes, that's my whole life's journey. My whole life's avoiding traffic.
It's not that I'm particularly smart or creative. I just hate traffic so much.
Yeah, that's right. It's an away driver. Like, that's it. That's my whole life objective.
So what you're saying is Uber is not your fallback plan. I got you.
That's not my fallback plan. I had thought we go through some rocky times there at the back end of when I left my job. I was like, I can always Uber.
Yeah.
That's counterintuitive.
That's totally playing into the opposite of what you want to be right there.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think we kind of answered the next question I was going to ask you, which what do you think? What do you think? But I want to ask it anyway because I'm pretty sure the answer is probably a little different. What would you say in your makeup makes you good at this thing?
I'm curious, so I like to learn stuff. Right? I don't know about you, but I get stuck on X platform like all day. I get sucked into the vortex of what's happening in the world, particularly in the United States at the moment. And I guess I'm just curious. So I was curious about how money worked. I was curious about how to invest. I was curious about how do we build a business teaching people? I mean, I've got a podcast. How do we launch a podcast? What's this all about? It's that curiosity that you end up, uh, you know, delving into new things and learning things a lot faster than most people. But I also love to teach people and give value, just like what you do on this show. So I think it's innate in us, right? That we want to help people and give back, give to them the value we wish we have had.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
I wish somebody had done for me what I'm trying to do for everybody, because at the end of the day, I've had a
That's
lot
why
of
you
people try to do it and do it very, very ineffectually. And they don't respect the fact that I'm taking time away from money making activities to be around them. They're obviously just taking and trying to sell me a product or something like that. No, stay curious is one of the hallmarks that I've really been leaning into a lot with people, with agents. I mean, I know you're talking about the United States. I live in the U.S., so for me, it's like this is Tuesday of some of the craziness that we see going on. But I mean, watching Argentina when an economist, a hardcore economist, becomes the leader, and watching what he did there. I mean, balancing the budget and doing
Oh,
all
hey.
it's impossible, and
Yeah.
just watching the economic theory, because economics is one of my go-tos, my things that I always find is fascinating. How does this work on a macro level? How do markets work? And
Yeah.
seeing that kind of the vindication of the Austrian school of economics, and it's just been very, very fun watching them
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
take
It's
the
all fun.
coin and out, out, out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
I
pretty.
love Yeah, I think I love it. I love what Mel Gibson said recently. Now, love him or hate him, like whatever. He said something about Trump coming into the presidency. He said it was a little bit like, and I think the same with Argentina, with this, economic policies. He said it's like Daddy's come home and he's taken off his belt.
Yeah,
And I was like, that's a really good example of like, we're gonna tighten this budget. We're gonna plug these holes. We're gonna, economic policy. It's like what we got to do with ourselves sometimes. We got to take off our belt and lay down the
an ass kicking, frankly,
yeah, an
is
ass kicking. Yeah,
is is sometimes exactly the medicine that we need, and just coming to peace with the fact that I need my own ass kicked from time to time to really get out of me what I'm capable of, because that natural inherent laziness has a specific gravity to it that is so enticing. It pulls me, it sucks, and I don't even realize it. I feel like I'm doing it, and
yeah,
you when I'm leaning that way. And I often think back that the people that were most mean to me are some of the people that I'm most grateful for, because they knew I needed an ass kicking at the time, and they
that's
were
true.
kind enough to give it to me.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
and
Yeah,
so that's, it's maybe counterintuitive, but it's part of what we have to make peace with, especially when we're our own boss.
that's right.
Me and my
Especially,
team are that, we need this outside,
well,
outside
what is
or
it?
perspective.
What is interesting too, and I agree with you with what the coaches, yeah, like what people have told me is brutal, but it works the best. Even some of the people that don't believe in you, it works well. They go, you can't do that. I'm like, well, all right, that's all the fuel and motivation I need. So thank you.
Thank you for
Um,
that.
yeah, but I think also it's very when you're your own boss, like what you said, you have to kick your own ass. It's very difficult to switch off. Like you got to, it's hard to
Yep.
switch off your ass kicking. And so people are like, when you go away, can you relax? And like, well, you have to be so on it all the time that it is difficult to stop kicking your own ass. So
I think the secret sauce that I found, because that's one of the things that with real estate agents, there's all this guilt
yeah,
that we have
yeah,
that they're not
yeah,
kicking their own ass enough and whatever else. Um, the line that I like, and what I've really tried to lean into, is the idea, and this is how I find peace, is define the win before I go in.
sure,
So I tell me before I start what needs to get done for it to be a win,
yeah,
and I go out and I chase that.
yeah,
And so when I get that, and I do this on a daily basis, because and one of the ones with me is like I work all day, and then when I'm done, I go to the gym, because I am not a morning person, right? And I was a bodybuilder and a power lifter for years. They take, oh, your testosterone, bullshit. All right. I lift 80% of what I do in the morning as I do in the evening. You get me in after 7 p.m., I'll lift the freaking house. You try me at
wow,
6 a.m., forget it. I'm not lifting a lettuce leaf. It's just,
yeah,
the numbers just aren't there. Like, I'm not making it up. For
yeah,
whatever my brain damage works later in the day.
yeah,
So there's this moment of beautiful peace that I have when I've done all my work. I go to the gym and I'm coming home from the gym. I'm walking home because I'm sort of a half mile from my house. So I'm walking home. The rest of the day belongs to me because I have completed all of my commitments to myself and I have earned this
Yes.
peace. But that's because I knew what I needed to do, you know?
Yes, I love it. I agree. I think we have a lot in common actually because I walk to the gym. I also won bodybuilding competitions and I actually cut my teeth on real estate when I was 20. I got a real estate license and actually learned a lot of my selling skills in commission only selling and ran a small property business my dad for 7 years. And that's really where I think a lot of the resilience from
Oh
business
my
comes.
God, yes.
Like commission only is like you gotta make the bread or there ain't no bread.
You
And
got, you got to kill the eat.
yeah, you got to kill to eat. So I think I did that. Like I learned that at a young age, and I think I've only had a wage for 3.5 years of my whole life. So that 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 killer instinct is embedded in you, particularly in real estate. But at the same time, you can apply that to bodybuilding. You can apply it to anything. Like once you have that ability to step up to the plate and consistently try and do something and fail and fail and fail, and then do a deal and get paid, you can apply that to anything.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the thing with real estate is that you can do everything perfectly and still get your ass kicked.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's
so,
right.
like I've done a lot of hard things. Bodybuilding is hard in its own way, right? I mean, I've dug ditches. I've, done construction work. I've done a million different things. And all of them are hard in their own way. And those ways are different. And the type of resilience and I mean, even doing a 9 to 5 job takes a certain sort of mental disconnect. I mean, like for me, I haven't had to do that in a very long time. I mean, I've always worked for my family so I mean, I've had 9 to 5s, but
Yeah.
you know, having to be someplace. Although then again, because I speak as much as I do, I always have to be someplace now anyway. It seems like
Yeah.
the last year was like 240 days I'm speaking, right?
Holy, how good's that? That's
Yeah,
amazing.
dude, it's like almost
Yeah.
every single weekday, I was someplace having to do this. And the type of mental discipline it takes is different. And it's kind of like bodybuilding, right? So like you have this routine and it's grueling and it's brutal and right. And like people come in and they try to work out with you and they leave in tears, right? And you're so good at it. And then you come and try my routine and it breaks you off. Like you're destroyed the next day because you're just not used to this thing. It might not even be as hard as yours. It's just different, right?
Yeah.
And so you build up these different calluses, if you will, to what you're used to. But when it becomes outside the scope of what you're used to, now it's a whole new set of calluses that got to get beat up and built in.
Right.
And so, you have to kind of build that resilience up in different ways. And real estate is good, as you're saying, because there's a whole series of skill sets of these types of resilience you need, but it's going to be different than what you need in other different kinds of work. What do you think makes you so passionate about what you do, man? I can hear it in what you say. Where do you think it comes from?
This real deep innate desire never to be stuck in traffic.
You know what? You answered it.
I keep coming back to it.
I love it.
You know what it is though, truthfully, like I had, you have these inner conversations with yourself while you are stuck in traffic. And on the way to these jobs I was doing, I was having these conversations like, is this what I was meant to do? Is this what God put me on earth to do? What if I went to heaven when I was, if I die at say 90, I go to heaven. So Michael's at the gates. He says, Lloyd, what did you do with the 90 days on earth? I was like, flipping just played it safe. And like, I had that conversation. I thought, well, is that really what I want to do? Or do I want to live a juicy, adventurous life where I can travel the world, speak on stages, write books, like really live, And I think that's probably also my desire to live a life that I can look back on and say, hey, I flipping gave it a good crack, man.
Yeah.
So that's probably where it comes from too.
I love that, man. I mean, I very much think the same way and lean into the same thing. The idea of being the person that walks in and says, God says to you, what did I give you? You say, what'd you do with it? I buried it in the sand. No, what did I give you? Hey, look, I'll tell you what, it took me a while to figure it out. When I figured it out, man, I tried to give you maximum ROI. Like there is not a lot of downtime that you're going to point to. Well, what the hell were you doing on Saturday? Well, as it turns out, I want to try to take and be able to show a good ROI for what I've been given. So no, I like that quite a bit, my friend. Here's a question that, as an entrepreneur, you definitely deal with. In real estate, we just kind of talked about it. You deal with it. How do you manage yourself when you have unmet expectations? Like the goal is this, you don't quite get there. Things are going well, and then it turns to a big steaming pile of donkey poop in your lap. Like, what do you do?
In the past, I've often been fearful of those moments because you don't want those moments, those dips, when you're sent into the pit to hang out there for a bit. But what is fascinating is I don't know where it comes from. You have it too, obviously, but I think that's where you really are focused on problem solving. And I guess that's what we really desire, this really juicy opportunity to solve this massive problem. And that's probably when you're at your best, when your back is against the ropes. It's like you're under fire, bad things are happening, and it's where your best comes out. And we dread it, but the reality is if we look back, that was where we pivoted and built new skills and got fortified our resilience and our self-esteem. And so that, like, I remember recently this time where this company I was working with owed me some money and they weren't going to pay it. And I remember getting on the phone with my accountant and we went to war to get this. And it was just, and I was so focused. I said to my wife, I'm getting this. I'm making this happen. And it was just this moment of building this, playing this chess game quickly to get this big payment. And we did it and we pulled it off. And I look back and think, geez, that was pretty bad because like, fuck, I want to make the money. But at the same time, I was super focused. We were in battle together. Like we were trying to win. And I think that's, someone said to me once, they said, Lloyd, life begins on the wire and everything else is just waiting around. So like, if you look back at your life, it's these moments that you went, it was hard, but that's when you were most alive. So I think as an entrepreneur, you have to understand that there's going to be better days. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And your best comes out under pressure and your skills are forged in the hottest fire. So you just have to accept that that's going to happen.
Absolutely. The idea that it's the hardest part, that's the part that you most need it for, right? It's the last rep or two that are the ones that other people aren't going to go get, that are the ones that if you go get it are going to get you. And that idea, one of the things that I talk all the time about is CEO question number one. CEO question number one is what the hell are you going to do about it? Because bad stuff's going to happen.
Yes.
When you're tempted to complain, please refer back to CEO question number one. Like, what the hell are you going to do about it? And that's exactly what you're saying. You're like, oh, pile of poo. All right, we got to fix this. I mean, it's not going anywhere. We have to take and do what we can. So I know you wrote a book, and I want to talk about that a little bit. And I also want you, within that concept, if there's any tool that you would suggest to help our listeners, anything that you do. So I can open the floor to you on that.
Well, a lot of my books are around money management and investing. Like even when I was in real estate, I wanted to make the commission checks and then put it to work so I could get some passive income while I had my commission checks coming in. Because, like you don't know when you're going to get paid next sometimes with the commission checks. So I wanted a bit of steadiness to that. And that's what really compelled me to do it. And then so in my books, I write about that. But the latest, what I noticed, and I've been teaching people and coaching them around money investing for quite a long while and real estate for probably since I was 28. What's that, 13 years. And one thing that stuck out to me was this. It's not that they have a lack of knowledge to manage money, because money's very basic. It's arithmetic. It's like grade 4 math. It's not that difficult. It's what I noticed was people didn't make time to sit down for 20 minutes quietly and even look at their bank statement. They just lack the ability to sit quietly in a room alone for 15 minutes. And that's usually where the best thinking and work is done on the most important stuff. And the reason why I wrote the book is called Become Time Rich. And it's my latest one. We just got published by Wiley in New York. So it's going to be out in American bookstores soon in May. And in that, I just talk about the 4 time rich laws that I've followed to be able to build and scale 4 businesses and run them from my cupboard of my house and get out of the commute. And I tried to break them down into 4 time rich laws that, if applied, allow people to achieve more by doing less and become less busy and more wealthy, because they're addicted to busyness. They're not necessarily addicted to productivity or wealth creation. And so that's what I've tried to do, right? I've tried to just get them some tracks to run on and some rules to follow so that they can alleviate the low ROI stuff they're doing, right? And just focus on the most important things. So just pulls together some of the things I've done over the years to do that.
Love it. Yeah, no, put the piece of equipment to work on the most productive business, right?
Yeah, well, one thing I've learned too is, I was seeking leverage, and even when I was selling real estate, I didn't have a lot of leverage because I was the agent doing the work. So I was the one. I had to be there 100% of the time. I had to be there to make the money. So I'm like, well, how do I get leverage? How do I get leverage? Do I hire some agents and get leverage? Do I invest? Do I get leverage? So leverage is a big part of the book. It's like, how do I find leverage here?
Sure.
So I think that's a big part of it. But I look in terms of tools that people can use, and you may have seen this too in your talks that you give. I'm sure you talk to a lot of people in real estate and in entrepreneurship too. I think the best tool you can have to save yourself time. Well, there's two tools. One, you're gonna laugh at me when I say this. I call it the multi-millionaire app. It's amazing and underutilized. It's called Google Calendar. And I know that seems ridiculous, but people don't flip and use a calendar. They walk around with everything in their head, trying to remember every appointment, everything, and they
Yeah, no, that's bullshit. I am with you 1,000,000%.
like it's so underused, right? And so that's the first one. And the second one is it's really simple. It's the notes section in your phone. And what I mean by that is so many people got ideas. They don't write anything down. They don't have their task to-do list for the day. Like when you said before, I've done this and this and this and this, and then you can rest. They don't have anything in there. And so they're just trying to figure out, when's my meetings on? Or what have I got to do?
Lost between what am I going to do next? Lloyd, you and I, man, were separated at birth. All right.
Yeah.
When it comes to efficiently squeezing out of this guy every inch that I can, I have broken it down to not one, not two, not three. We're in my office, 4 computer monitors. One has email open all day long. There's 0 emails in my inbox because that's where problem. I have the calendar open on one vertically turned monocle, so calendar's open all day long.
Good.
Instead of the notes, what I use is my CRM. I have everything in there, not my real estate business, everything. My dog's flea pill is in my CRM. Getting flowers for my wife on the month of the day that because you want to know something? I want to be the romantic guy that remembers, but I know what I'm dealing with. I'm not gonna.
Yes.
But the secret will, which turns me into the guy that I'm trying to be. Look at this.
Yes. What about this? Listen to this one. When my wife gets her lashes done, and I know she's got the appointment, I put it in my diary. So when she comes back, I have a note that says, make a comment about her lashes.
It's not that I'm not that. Look, I know I'm not that guy, right?
I'm not the guy. I want to be the guy.
Yeah, that guy. So let me use the system that
That's right. Systems leverage, man.
Here's the total thing for me, Lloyd. I literally know that I have incredibly imperfect memory. So I can continue to hold on to this and fail at it, or I can delegate it to the computer who have perfect memory.
Yes.
Failing or succeeding. It's literally, and I go into the office, I have a list. If I do all that and I empty my inbox, I go home because 100% of everything I need to do to be the guy that I'm trying to be has been done.
Yes.
Guilt-free.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Man.
Someone said to me once too, they said, your brain is not for storing ideas, it's for creating ideas.
Oh my God, that's very good. I love that, man. So
yeah, people are treating their man like a USB stick, man. It's just crazy. I wouldn't do that. I'd be dead.
Not a good thing. So let me ask you this. What do you see as the opportunity in the market today? What's got you excited?
Oh, what a cool question. Are you sure you're ready for the answer for this? What's got me in the market? Well, I'll tell you what hasn't got me excited in Australia is the real estate prices here. It's been crazy. I'm waiting for something to happen. I don't know. It's just mental here. It's gone through the roof. It's not like the States where there's probably a little bit more opportunity at the minute. But what's got me excited in the actual markets, in the stock market at the moment is there's been so much happen lately. But I have deployed a fair bit of capital into Chinese equities. Now, if you look at China, it's like the big combatant with the United States right now. They're competing, and it's great because the USA is like, okay, let's fight. And so I love the opportunities there. So I'm deploying some money in China at the minute, which is cool. And I think it's going to be fun to see how that pans out.
Yeah.
From the United States standpoint, I've got a big position in Berkshire Hathaway, and I've been building that for a long time. And I just love Warren Buffett so much. How can you not want to invest in his business with him? And he's all American. He's got some of the best businesses in the world in his portfolio, and you can just jump in and buy his Berkshire Hathaway stock whenever you want. So I love just adding to my Berkshire position. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful business run by
Nice.
wonderful people, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, he's a good guy. Supposedly a really good guy.
yeah. I haven't met him yet, but
Yeah, no, he actually I haven't read his stuff. I've actually read Charlie Munger. Actually, I read his autobiography and I read Charlie Munger's book.
oh yeah, love Charlie. I'm a big fan of Charlie.
Charlie is really good. And the thing that stuck with me from Charlie's book that I really remembered is he said, me and Warren basically delegate everything
Yes.
except how we compensate our people. We make
Yeah.
sure make sure that the incentives of how we compensate with them are lined up with what we want them to do.
Yes. Yes.
And I thought that was just a really, really wise. This is somebody that's obviously made the mistakes of coming up with other ways of compensating where they haven't fully thought through. And the people wind up doing something that gets them paid well, but isn't what you're trying to do. And so it's so important to really line that up with what you want people to do. I thought it was really,
Well,
really
he said, yeah, he famously said, "Show me the incentive, and I'll show you the outcome."
and isn't it amazing that that's exactly how money works and
Yes.
taxes work and
Yes.
everything? If we could just get
Yes.
our politicians to understand this.
Well, that's right. I think Warren Buffett said, "I'll show you how to balance the budget. If they blow it out by 3% every year, they don't get reelected." Like there's got to be some accountability, and there hasn't been. But you would see it in real estate, for example. You put someone on a wage, they ain't making any sales. But you put them on commission and you let them chase the carrot, man. They're going to make sales. So it's
Absolutely.
yeah, you change the incentive, change the outcome. I'm a huge believer in that. So yeah, amen. I think that's awesome.
So, Lloyd, I'm going to kind of take this and turn it a little bit here and kind of make it a little bit more of a lightning round, kind of your first take on these kind of things. This is kind of let people get a little bit more of a sense of you because you've given some great advice. And I've really enjoyed the conversation to this point. But people always want to know who the person is that's talking about. So what would you say is the most important thing, looking back, most important thing that you think you've learned in the process of doing what you've done, except for your immense hatred of traffic, which I think we've.
Well, what I've learned is that success is best when you model someone else already doing it, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So the best way to become successful is find this person who's most successful, in that industry, and pay to get close to them, pay for proximity, model what they do, live and breathe what they do, and learn. You learn so much faster doing that than taking some random course or whatever. You just got to get close to people who are successful. That has been
Good stuff.
tremendously important, right?
Love it. What would you say you're most proud of in business that you've accomplished?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
I
see,
think,
us entrepreneurs are very good at putting our foot on the gas and looking
yeah,
forward,
it's
but
so much.
taking a step back and enjoying the view from the field.
I I think what I've been most proud of is that I've done it myself. Like I could have stayed, uh, that I branched. I could have played it safe so easily, but I just still. I gave up a good life to chase a great life,
Love it,
and I
man.
think I'm super proud of that the most. That I still went for it, even though I didn't have to.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Well, what would you say? Similar question, but now a little bit more personal. What would you say you're most proud of in life that you've accomplished?
I'd say I'm most proud of being able to have success in different areas and still maintain an incredible marriage and have a loving wife and have friends and family around me at the same time and have time for them still. That's
Yeah, man.
I did a post today on X and on Instagram, and I said the net worth update, and it was like some of my people following my stories are hanging on bated breath. What's Lloyd's net worth now? And I just put a photo of my wife and my dog.
Yeah,
So,
man.
like, so I think it's that.
There is a country western song that always gets me with that, which is why I don't listen to a lot of country western.
Yeah.
Like, nothing can get you emotional more than some country western songs, and it's a song called "The Good Stuff." And yeah, if you ever listen to words of that
I'll
song,
listen to it after this, man. The good
yeah,
stuff is good.
yeah, it's called "The Good Stuff," and it's a guy coming in complaining about his wife, and he says to the bartender, "Give me some of the good stuff," and the bartender tells him a story, and I just warn you, Kleenex in proximity may
Oh,
be
shoot.
worthwhile. Yeah,
Okay.
a man tear may escape. I'm just saying.
Okay. I'll
The,
watch it in private.
the man tier that we reserve for the end of like the movie Gladiator, that tier,
Oh, that's gonna
you
come
know,
back. All right. Cool.
Just word of warning, one friend to another.
Okay.
All right. So if you had to give our listeners one piece of advice,
Great question.
never talk to him again, never meet him again, perhaps. What's the one thing that, Lloyd said and I never forgot it?
I would say that there are a lot of people out there with less ability than you, making a lot more money and having a more successful life. And don't wait to be perfect. Just execute, but also be prepared to, in the short term, sacrifice leisure time and time with people you love to actually get your thing off the ground. Whether it's selling real estate, whether it's building a business, you've got to put the 2 to 3 to 4 years in to get good at it. And you're going to have to sacrifice short term to get what you want long term. And that's okay. But fall in love with the process. So I would say, marry the process and divorce the outcome, and you'll be fine.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. One of the things that I've been really leaning to telling people right now is the idea: always play from ahead when you can. So get ahead of what you need to do, but always continue to play like you're behind.
Oh,
Right.
that's good.
So, like, American football is a game that I really enjoy watching. Right. And what annoys me is a team gets up by 1-2 touchdowns and they start to play prevent. And so then the other teams are getting first downs, and like you're watching, and you need Pepto Bismol because they're moving down the field and the suck. Like once you get the ball back and score a few more touchdowns, then we have to worry about it. So I always feel like I'm losing the game, even if I'm up by a couple of touchdowns. I want to keep staying hungry and chasing it.
Yes. Yeah, you got to oh man, I agree with that. You always got to be on offense because even when you win, you want to stack the wins, stack another one.
Absolutely.
Like even just widen the moat, widen the lead, because you just want to widen that as far as you can go. Like I want to keep widening it, and that's why I'm just at it and at it and at it because I know it's hard to build momentum. It's hard to build that winning formula, and you just want to never let your foot off the gas. And I think again, looking at some of the things happening, I'm inspired by Elon Musk. Like I've read his book and I just started to take on more. I'm like, well, I'm playing small compared to that dude.
Yeah.
What can I do more and more and more and more and more? And that's this winning edge. Like I'm just going to be so far ahead because I'm just going to keep going. So I agree with you. That's a very good analogy.
Good stuff, man. Love it. All right, this could be a tough one, but I'll put it out there because I want to kind of nail you down on this one. What one book, if you had to recommend one, would be the book you would recommend?
These cruel questions, you guys, so good. They're very, very powerful. My one book?
One book, man. Yeah, nailing you down.
Yeah.
It's they asked Eddie Van Halen, what one song would you take if there was only one song you could have?
You did not, did you really?
That's what one of the questions they famously asked Eddie Van Halen. Only one of your songs.
What did he say?
He actually picked, surprisingly enough, Jump.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Who would have thought?
Okay. Shit. Okay. Well, that's asking me. Here's the book. The one book. I'll tell you what. This really had a profound effect on me to the point where I've told everyone every year for their birthday on Facebook, I get my assistant to send out a birthday message to say, happy birthday. Here's the best book I read this year. And it's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer.
Love it.
Absolutely just a game changer for me. No, man, it's just, that really left a mark on me, that book.
See, this is why I asked the question. Just because you're on the show doesn't mean I can't force you to be a little introspective and take a step back and think for a second. This is awesome. You appreciate it that much more. It's good stuff.
You're great.
I love the word ruthless because I actually talk about I am absolutely ruthless with my time. I squeeze out all the unnecessary. That's why the 4 monitors. I was wasting too much time changing between. It's $125. Like I'll get another one. Make it easy.
I love it. Yeah.
Just ruthless with wasting time. So that I have time for the things that I don't want to waste time on. Spending time with my wife, with my dog, with like these. Right. If I'm more efficient with my time with these other things, I got more of that time for the other stuff. So why waste it? Let me squeeze it out. Yeah. All right. Similar question as the last one. Favorite movie of all time?
Oh, Braveheart.
It's a great film.
How can you say? It's either, as a guy, it's either Braveheart or it's Gladiator or it's I mean, I don't mind Saving Private Ryan. It's one of those movies where we're a battle. Like men, it's in us. It's innately in our DNA to go to war. So it's like
absolutely.
brutal. I'm glad I didn't live in those times and do that. But it inspires me, that movie. Glad
I'll give you a thing to Google that I think, based upon this, you'll enjoy. If you've never seen the death crawl scene from a movie called Facing the Giants, just type in
I've
death
seen
crawl.
that.
Okay,
I've
cool.
seen that. I've seen that 100 times. As a mentor of mine plays that one clip all the time.
Absolutely.
I love that.
It's a great clip about
Is this the
the.
one where he goes, "Hey, Brock, you're in the end zone" at the end? Like
I
he's
know. Oh my God, is that not a movement?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And I mean,
Yeah,
the big thing is, obviously, there's potential in you. You don't even realize, if you just close your eyes and keep going, you might go a lot further. But the other thing is, if that coach doesn't get down there on the ground with him, he never makes that distance, right?
yeah,
So it's getting
right.
the people around you. Love it. That's a great scene. All right, cool. All right, famous person in history you'd want to meet if you could.
Famous person in history. Who would I want to meet? That's a flippin' tough question.
A lot of people in history.
Well, because he's dead, can I say Charlie Munger?
Yeah, he is dead theoretically. Hey, he is famous. We know who he is, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I could if you don't say someone like Jesus or I mean,
Yeah.
Lincoln. I'd love to meet Lincoln. There's so many. I can't know one.
This is the problem when you like history.
I know. I'd love to. I'd like to hang out with Elvis Presley for an afternoon too. That'd be kind of fun. But
Imagine so.
yeah, I'm not sure.
All right. You gave a bunch of options, so we have a where you're at. All right, this is the similar question, but much more personal. What person from your past would you want to sit down with and have lunch with today, if you could?
What personal person from my past?
What person from your past? Anybody that from your past that comes to mind? If I could sit down and have lunch with them today.
Yeah, I'd like to have lunch with. I'd like to have lunch with a buddy of mine. He died when he was 25. He was a tree logger and he got hit by a tree and it killed him.
That's irony.
Yeah, it's no joke. Yeah, it was a tree logger, got hit by a tree and killed him. He was 25, and I think he was going to be a good entrepreneur. But yeah, I'll probably catch up with him. That'd be cool.
Yeah. No, that's good stuff. All right, what one piece of advice would you go back and give a younger version of you?
What piece of advice? I would say, don't overestimate people. They're not as smart or as clever as what you might think they are or what they purport to be, and speak up.
Yeah, good stuff, man. All right, almost done with the gauntlet here.
This is a great gauntlet. Well done.
Who would you want to be stuck in a hot foxhole with, taking fire? If you had to pick somebody to have in that, yeah.
Man, I'd probably like to be in there with you. That'd be cool.
We both like Mel Gibson movies, if nothing else.
That's right. Yeah. I think you'd be a good dude to be in a foxhole with. I got a buddy of mine. He's a ex-professional boxer. I'd like to be in there with my dad. It would be fun. He's a tough guy. But this ex-professional boxer, I did 41-minute rounds with him, and it was the most brutal thing. And he really leveled me up in my mindset. Got me to run an ultra marathon boxing fight. And I'd like to be in. He'd be fun to be in the foxhole with. He wouldn't take a backward step.
Yeah. No, I mean, you gotta. Those folks that one, they're tough, and two, they got your back.
Yes,
they'll stay the line. If you're slowing down, they'll slow down and make sure you make it. Kind of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
My brother's a major in the army, so I could probably choose him. He'd probably be pretty handy to have in a foxhole.
Turns out he's got some experience.
Probably a bit more trained than me. Yeah, he'd be good. I'd take him.
Yeah. No, it's a thing. All right, Lloyd, what do you do to unwind, buddy?
What am I doing online?
Yeah.
Like what I do online, or what?
What do you do to unwind? I'm sorry.
Oh, to unwind? Oh, that's a great question. Where did you find these cruel questions? What do I do to unwind? Okay. I actually walk to the gym like you.
Nice.
And I don't touch my phone. And I walk in the sun to the gym and I do my workout. I walk back. That's my meditation time. And I love going on a walk with my dog and my wife. in the evening. Like that's a cool thing to do. And it's weird because it's like walking is like an old person sport, but I
No,
like to I like to walk with my wife and my dog to unwind. I think,
yeah, no,
and
it's
hey,
slow.
sometimes I like to play a bit of chess. In between meetings, I'll grab the chessboard and whip out a game. That's cool.
Nice. Similar. I'm not I'm a board game guy in general. I love.
Nice.
There are so many board games that exist. It's one of the fastest growing hobbies in the world, actually. So.
There you go. Is it? All right. I love board games too. I'm a big board
Yeah,
game
no,
guy.
I had an ex that introduced me to a game called Settlers of Catan, and
Oh, Catan. Yeah.
I
Nice
was.
game.
He said, like, do you play board games? And I was like Monopoly, like
You'd be a Monopoly guy
4
for
hours
sure.
of attrition. Only find out what we knew about an hour and a half in. Like we knew how this was going to go, but no, let's grind them down to powder. There's nothing left except bankruptcy for everyone except
That's right.
no, like
Catan's good. Catan's good.
Catan is
I
great.
like it.
It has it fosters those friendly trades where you need something, I got something. I need what you got. Like we can make this work.
Negotiation.
We can
Yeah.
be friends.
Yeah.
But no, it's good stuff. All right. Last question, real. Well, I got one more after this, but what's next for you, Lloyd? You're an entrepreneur. You're hungry. You finished the book. You're probably like me. Finished the book. All right. What's the next project?
Yeah, that's interesting. You say that. It's true. You know what I'm talking about. I mean,
It's a
I
sickness.
think here's the thing. Now that I've written the book, we're going to launch it to the stratosphere. So I've got this big launch event coming up in Australia. It's going to be online and virtual as well. We're going to launch into bookstores in May. So a lot of time and effort is going to be launching the book.
Nice.
So that's a big move this year. And then we're working on having a baby this year too. So hopefully have a human being hanging around the house.
Well, making people. Yeah, that's
Yeah, make people. That's not a small thing. So
that
do
is not
that, and
a small thing.
I think that's the launching the book is a big thing because it's taken a while to create, and I think it just can change. I think people really need it. So I'm gonna say the book launch is big. It's in May.
Awesome, brother. Well, I'm totally rooting for you, and everybody that's listening, please, guys, get a copy of the book. Lloyd's a good guy. He's given us a lot here, guys. So please, reward that if you can by supporting what he's doing there. Last question, Lloyd. Where can people find you?
Well, easiest place to find me is if they're on Instagram, it's Lloyd James Ross. Yeah, and if you just Google, you find me. But yeah, and on Amazon for the book, Become Time Rich. We're on Amazon, and that's an easy place to find us. But yeah, Instagram, simple, Lloyd James Ross.
Love it.
Come hang out.
Become Time Rich. Good,
Yeah.
good title. Good stuff, Lloyd. Great hanging out with you, buddy. Great hearing from you.
Man.
Great talking.
Nice hanging out with you too. Thanks for the conversation. It's been epic, and appreciate you.
Yeah. And to all of our listeners, thank you guys for spending your time with us and hanging out here. Reminding you, as I always do, there's never a good excuse not to know your shit. Till next time, guys.